everybody. I'm at Hubert's Cafe in downtown Portland. This is a famous bar. In fact, it's the oldest bar in Portland, owned by a Chinese-American family for 3 generations, but they don't serve Chinese food. They serve turkey in a great Spanish coffee, which they're famous for. I'm going to talk to David and Jimmy Louis, the brothers who are now operating this interesting and fantastic historical restaurant in Portland. Okay, I'm in the beautiful dining room of Hubert's Cafe with the stained glass windows and the old woodwork. I love this stuff. And joining me are the 2 brothers who now run the operation. We've got David Louis and James Louis. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. I just happened upon this place as I bumped into you and chased you down on the sidewalk. And found out it's the oldest restaurant in Portland, as you told me.
Yes.
1879?
Yes. It started out as the Bureau Saloon, and Mr. Huber was not the founder. He was a bartender at the Bureau Saloon, and Mr. Eppinger was the founder of the Bureau, but then Mr. Huber bought out Mr. Eppinger and changed the name to Huber's.
When did your family get involved?
My great uncle got involved in 1895. And
1891?
Oh, what? I'm sorry. It was 1891. You'd better talk to my brother. He has the better history.
Actually, that's not correct either. Great Uncle Jim went to work for Frank Huber in, let's see, I should have reviewed my notes. I think it was 1880.
Oh, 1880? Wow. You mean that was just like 1 year after they founded the Bureau Saloon?
No, it was 1890. You're right.
1890. Okay.
All right. Good. Well, nonetheless, we're talking 19th century, and right. It is the oldest restaurant in Portland.
Yes.
That's just factually correct.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
And everything in here is original. Like you.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Like, how did you keep it up so white? And then you must have done some refabrication, right, in the bar, maybe, or?
Yeah. Occasionally, we finish the woodwork.
We've had the woodwork. Yeah, we've finished and maintained over the years. There used to be a steam table over here, and that's where the turkey dinners were plated and the sandwiches were made. And, well, back in the saloon days, that's where people went to get a turkey sandwich and a little cup of coleslaw. And that was free if you bought a drink.
Nice.
Yeah.
You mentioned turkey. Okay, let's just dive right into it. Typically, a Chinese-American owner of a restaurant has Chinese food.
Right.
But in this case, it's turkey.
That's right.
Is the signature dish. And is there no Chinese food?
No. I mean, for a little while, we had Chinese turkey on the menu.
Okay, how does that happen?
Well, I mean, you kind of marinate it like barbecued pork, and then cook it, and you serve it with cocktail sauce and hot mustard.
Yeah. Okay, but you decided to stick with what was originally here for the food menu.
Yes, it grew from a traditional turkey dinner, and then they included seafood and steak.
So you have that too?
Yeah, we have the pasta, salads,
nice,
fresh seafood and steak.
Is the chef passed on as well from family to family, or have you gone through a few? I mean, how do you keep the cooking up to par and maintaining the standards you've set?
Well,
over the long period you've been
I
here.
guess you might say, we've recorded the recipes from my mom and dad, and they just follow the recipe.
And actually, it's not the chef that prepares the food; it's the line cooks and the prep cooks.
And how about the brothers? Do we know how to cook?
Oh, I cook at home, but I don't cook here because you have to be awfully good to cook professionally.
Yeah. So the family's always been the management, never gotten in the way of the cooking?
I was way back when I first got involved in the restaurant full time. We had a very, very awesome cook, and back in the old days, back in the 70s, and we only had a one-part check, so that the cook didn't get the check. She would just remember what the people. They would go up there and tell her what they wanted, and she would remember it. And most of the time, she never made the mistake. It was always the servers that made the error, and then she'd be ready to cut their head off because it would really mess her up because because it was all in her head. But after I got involved in the restaurant, I mentioned that maybe the clam chowder could be improved, and that was it. She quit.
Oh,
and
boy.
then my brother and my mother and I started to do the cooking.
Uh-huh.
And before I got involved, my brother did some of the cooking. He was behind the line and plating turkey dinners and sandwiches, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, but we can't forget mom and dad, and especially our mother.
Yes.
When the cook walked out, she marched right into the kitchen and just started cooking. And initially her skill level was pretty limited, but that's the thing about cooking, and it's repetition. And it got to the point where she did a beautiful job cooking, say, razor clams, fresh razor clams.
You guys have razor clams?
Not right now.
God, I love razor clams.
They've been
They're exotic.
They've been the season has been shut down because of bad algae.
Yeah, well, the warm weather.
tide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are these Washington State razor clams or Oregon or?
Usually the fresh ones come from Washington State.
Yeah. So let's talk about the turkey, your signature dish.
Mm-hmm.
What makes a good turkey, and how do you cook it?
Well, the way we do it is we kind of braise them. We put a little water in the pan, and then we put the turkey into a pan and we cover it up, and then we just let it cook inside of this underneath some foil. And then after it's getting close to being done, we'll take the foil off and then we'll let it brown up the skin.
Nice. It's not the way I do it.
No. Everybody has a different way of doing it.
That's a very unique way, I must say. I can't wait to taste it. I bet it's very moist that way, too.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
comes out
overcook
good.
it.
No, that's the key. Don't
Yeah,
overcook the turkey.
Of course, yeah. And then what about gravy and the sides?
Well, the gravy, we collect the bones and boil the bones and get a really nice stock, and then add some roux and thicken it up and add some seasoning, and boom, we get some really nice gravy.
I can't wait. Now, like you told me, it's Thanksgiving every day at Huber's.
That's right.
That's a great slogan. So do people order this turkey every day? I mean, is it like the big...
Yes, it's the most popular thing on the menu.
Well, I can't wait to have it.
All right.
It's wonderful to know that you can have turkey every day in Portland.
That's
Just come
right.
to Huber's Cafe.
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right, I got to ask you about one more thing, which is advertised on your sign outside as I promoted. The Spanish coffee is famous here too. How did that come about?
Well, that's
You wanna
my
answer that?
brother's story.
Well, yes. We started doing Spanish coffees 45 years ago. The reason why I know exactly when we started doing Spanishes is my wife and I, we've been married for 45 years. And actually, we started doing Spanish coffees the year before we got married. I was out for dinner with my wife. Well, actually, at the time, she was my girlfriend. And it was a restaurant called the Fernwood Inn out in Milwaukee, Oregon. And they were doing Spanish coffees. And I told my wife, Helen, I said, gosh, the customers are loving it, and there's nothing to it. You're just putting a little 151 rum in the glass that's rimmed with sugar, lighting on fire, adding Kahlua, a little coffee, some whipping cream, and boom, Spanish coffee. And so we brought the concept back to Huber's, but we kind of developed our own recipe. We added triple sec and a little nutmeg on top for garnish. And that was at the suggestion of my friend Bill Bakke, who is a college buddy of mine from Portland State. And then another one of our customers, Max, I don't know Max's last name, but he was a regular customer, and he was watching me light matches with two hands, and he says, "Jimmy, let me show you how to light a match with one hand." So he showed me how to light a match with one hand. And then he showed me how to remove the match with one hand from the matchbook. So that all became part of the presentation. And then I have to give Alex Perez some credit. He was a waiter at a neighboring restaurant, and he was a customer of ours, and he was fascinated by the Spanish coffees. Every time he came in, he would order one. And one day he says to me, "Jimmy, I want to give you some competition. I want to come over and make Spanish coffees here at Huber's." So I hired Alex, and he was especially gifted at making Spanish coffees. When he made a Spanish coffee, it was like Baryshnikov and ballet. And he was the one who pioneered doing multiple Spanish coffees. Because I was doing one at a time, and then customers started asking for two. Well, Alex started doing two. And then they saw him doing two. They said, "Can you do three?" So we started doing three at a time. And then some of our female servers said, "Jimmy, you better hook up with Alex. The customers are asking for Alex and not you." So anyway, Alex was kind enough to share some of his secrets. And today, all of our bartenders, their presentation is kind of a knockoff on what Alex did. But all of our accomplished bartenders can do three at a time now.
Attaboy. Well, you got a great bar, old school. I love the archways and the way the stained glass ceiling reflects off it. It's just got a wonderful 19th century feel, which is what Huber's Cafe is, a historical restaurant in downtown Portland. So now it's time to try the famous turkey at Huber's, and of course, the Spanish coffees. And I understand you go through more Kahlua than any bar in the city, maybe even in America.
Well, we go through more. Well, we're the largest user of Kahlua in the state. One of the largest, or the largest independent user of Kahlua in the country. And because the U.S. of A is the largest consumer of Kahlua in the world, by default, we're the largest user of Kahlua in the world. And also by default, we're the largest user of Kahlua in the galaxy.
All right, excellent. Well, I'm very excited. Let's bring on the turkey and the Spanish coffee, I say, here on Tasty Good PDX at Huber's Cafe. Thank you, gentlemen, for enlightening us about the history of the restaurant.
Oh, thank you.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bring on the turkey.
Hello, my name is John Pierce. I'm going to be making a Spanish coffee here at Huber's. This is how we start. I'm going to wet the glass with lime. I'm going to wring it in the sugar, just dip it. Add some rum. It's about an ounce. Just a splash of triple sec. I'm going to light this. The purpose of lighting it is to get the glass hot enough to caramelize the sugar on. The trick is keeping it lit. So that's why I keep the glass turning, to keep enough oxygen into the flame. This will take about a minute.
So you've got what in there?
There's 151 rum and just a splash of triple sec.
Ah.
And it just needs a little bit, because if you put too much, it'll dominate the drink.
And how much of the alcohol burns off in this process?
Actually, 0, because all you're doing is caramelizing the sugar. See how it's starting to bead up and blister? That's what I was waiting for. Now I'm going to add your Kahlua. Ooh, got a little tingled up to myself there. So far, so good.
A little cafe.
Little coffee. I'm going to top this. This is just heavy cream. And a little nutmeg.
And there we go.
There. Enjoy.
And you also make this at the tables,
Yes, we do.
which is very popular, I understand.
Oh, it's extremely popular. We have several trophies for pouring the most Kahlua for a restaurant our size in the United States. Enjoy.
How many do you go through in a night? On a good night?
A good winter night, I could probably make 150 to 200 Spanish coffees, just myself. And there'd be 4 people making them. So,
Well, thank you, sir.
you're welcome.
Well, I'm at a wonderful bar. I've got a delicious Spanish coffee. It's warm. This is really good for it's getting cool out, so it's actually a perfect drink. Let's try Huber's Cafe, world famous Spanish coffee. Oh. That is sweet and delicious. Or as Jackie Gleason would say, how sweet it is. You could definitely have more than one. The turkey has arrived, and I must say, it looks better than anything I've cooked on Thanksgiving. So let's have a try. I'm at the bar, of course, and I don't know, I enjoy a traditional old school bar. Cranberry sauce, broccoli, and a wonderful thick gravy. Oh, it's moist and delicious, and you know, there's no salt flavor, which is really good because with gravy and stuff, I don't like a lot of salt. But I mean, this is better than anything I've ever cooked in Thanksgiving. What's wonderful about this is I love turkey, and it can be eaten any day at Huber's Cafe. And I don't have to cook it anymore.
It's so funny, now since we reopened, our hours have been so cut.
So let's try a little bit of
Rather than 4 days a week.
I had the dark meat. Now I'm going for the breast with a little of the cranberry sauce. Mmm. Damn, that's good. And mashed potatoes, of course. Mmm. Perfectly, you know, whipped. Not too, you know, I like the fact that not a lot of salt. I'm telling you, damn it, I might come here I might have to come here every week just for the Spanish coffee and the beautiful tender breast, chicken, turkey, cranberry sauce. Huber's Cafe. Turkey. Thanksgiving is every day here on Tasty Good PDX.